My name is Rhapsody, his name is sneakyteak, and welcome back to the ladder streak. It's time to go in with Ironclad Ascension 8. How's it going, bud?
It's going great. I'm excited to play Slay the Spire. It's like a treat for me every week now.
You and I both. You and I both. I look forward to this time as, yes, I am going to learn how to play the game better. As well as, because it's a good, fun time.
It is. We've had, just like you said last time, each of our runs seems to somehow be more degenerate than the last. And that's in spite of the fact that I'm actually playing slightly less Slay the Spire outside of these right now. So it feels very fresh for me in addition to being very disgusting at the same time. It's like fresh, but also rotten, you know, at the same time.
It's also like very, very fresh for me consistently, because a lot of the time, like as we split between doing the archetypes or the inclusions that either of us would want to go for, we end up in a realm of something I've never played before. Just one way or another, there's an interaction in the deck that I just do not ever usually see. It's really exciting.
Power of 2 minds. And someday, soon, 3 minds with Slay Eye, but we'll talk about that later. So I like to call this, by the way, this act, this is the Elites Convention. All of the Elites have ganged up at like floor 6 and 7, and they're all speed tied to where you cannot visit them. And the scariest acts for me are acts to where all of the Elites and the Fires are speed tied, to where you don't get to do Elites and Fires, you have to choose. And at least here there's some Fires and Elites, but this is pretty close to being a really horrifying act path.
Yeah, it's not great. The maximum I can see is 2 Elites and 2 Fires, or 3 Elites and 1, 3 Fires and 1 Elite, but the Empowered Elite.
Yeah, I guess the 3 other than the final, I guess, is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I always just assume that there's going to be the final one.
Me too.
Above, so.
I don't really count it, right? I'm just looking at Fires in the body.
I used to call them midline rests to make clear that I'm only talking about the 3 here. But yeah, just talking about them now, I'll just say 3.
So before looking at options, I guess our most promising paths are go Relic Light, but go Upgrade Heavy left side and knock out the green key so that we can path more aggressively in Act 2, right?
Yep.
Because Act 2 Fire Elite is so scary that it often just shuts off a whole path.
There's also a very, very early shop on that same line and the rest before the Elite. So it's entirely possible we could end up with getting gold, going to the first shop, getting a card to upgrade, and then just powering up this line. But the other one?
And you know it's like at Ascension 20 that might feel too safe, right? Am I pushing hard enough? Am I going to get enough Elites? But we might just be able to get away with that at Ascension 6. And the other one was the 2 Elites, 3 Fires. That's somewhere on the right side, I thought I saw?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the choice to take a extra question mark early or an extra fight early, but other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same up until this point. And then, extra rest and then the Elite.
And I'm feeling really safe on either of those because the Elites are fire sandwiched. As in, there's a fire before and after for each of them. Although no shop on the right side.
Yeah, that is actually like a big negative that I'm looking at here. I think this is going to largely be decided based on what we see here.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's annoying.
Is it ever boss swap then?
Do you want to do boss swap?
Yeah, because here's how I evaluate boss swap. Boss swap is objectively on its average going to be like one of the spikiest ways to get strong, right? It's also really high variance and it can cause huge problems. Like you've now lost your source of sustain and you can't get gold anymore. That's a really huge downside, right? But if I'm looking at Act 1 and it's too safe, or I don't think I can get enough value, and none of the other options are really strong, right? I'm not being offered rare relics. I can't like trade some life for 250 gold for a huge shop. Those are the kinds of things that make me far more tempted to boss swap, because that's just a way to get online. And if we get energy, Ironclad can certainly use it.
It's interesting that you mentioned like the gain a bunch of money, like the 250 or a rare relic as the things that you'd be looking for here. Because for that kind of like similar amount of power that you would expect out of the act. Because I'm looking at this rare colorless card and I'm like, that could provide it with an early upgrade.
It could. What are the rare colorless cards that you're super excited for here? Hand of Greed?
Hand of Greed, Apotheosis, Bomb, Transmutation.
Bomb's good. Transmutation's solid. Yeah. I think so. I have trouble because at this point with 4 classes in the game, sometimes the existence of one class can make me overreact for the other. I find oh,
It's all good. Keep going.
Oh, we're going to look at the things. Got you,
Yeah.
got you. So Watcher and Defect get so much value out of an early rare colorless card that it kind of makes me undervalue it on Ironclad, I think. Particularly because Ironclad, you know, like Hand of Greed on Watcher is super exciting. On Ironclad, it doesn't quite get to that level because a 20 damage attack is something that Ironclad can do. Whereas for Watcher, it's not just generating gold, it's also like winning fights for you, right? So, but that doesn't mean that it's bad on Ironclad. It's still meta scaling. I mean, it still lets you carry value over between fights. Master of Strategy actually is something I'm excited for too.
Master of Strategy is really good. I'm just looking at this in particular because I was wondering, like, I've listed the ones that I really want to get here. But I haven't thought about the amount of things I definitely don't want to get because, like, Secret Technique early, Secret Weapon early, these mean nothing for a while.
Yeah, they don't really do anything for us.
Same with Violence for a while as well.
Actually, Metamorphosis and Chrysalis both I actually really like as cards.
I do want to get a deck that actually includes one of those too.
Yeah, and Ironclad is frequently really energy starved, so. Okay, I can go either way here. I think you've made a strong case that I'm undervaluing rare colorless. Oh, Runic Cube. Okay, get your bloodlettings ready. Get your brutalities ready.
Come
get
on.
your heart fight ready.
Combust me. Give me the combust.
Combust is weird. It draws it at the end of your turn.
Oh, right. God, sorry.
I know, it's not, no, but it's, nobody expects that. Because why, you know, it feels like it would be a synergy.
There were a few things
if you
that
have
were kind
Runic
of like...
Pyramid, it technically is.
Well, then we'll just have to get Runic Pyramid.
Yeah, Runic Pyramid, Runic Cube, and Runic Dodecahedron.
Let's go for the Runic Trilogy.
Wait a minute. That's not in the game anymore.
Oh, yeah, it
It's
is.
still Runic Dome, though. We lost one of our Runic compatriots. I loved Runic Dodecahedron, I'm not gonna lie.
Same. Like, seeing the discussion about Runic Dodecahedron... So, Runic Dodecahedron, if anyone's not familiar, was a... was it rare or was it uncommon? I think it was uncommon.
It was not rare for sure. It was uncommon or maybe even common.
Oh, God, if it was common. It was, if you are on full health, you have 1 extra energy. Or if at the start of your turn you're on full health, you have 1 extra energy that turn.
Yeah.
It was
so it can be bossed here. It can be bossed here.
Yeah.
Or it can never come online. It's both possible.
There are some decks that are like, you know, I'm going to barricade and I'm just going to build a wall between me and you, and it's just an extra energy in those decks. It's ridiculously good.
The removal of Runic Dodecahedron was a secret nerf to bites. That's my strong belief.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's a solid one right there.
So with this many upgrades, is it ever body slam?
That's what I'm thinking. It, like, Clothesline is nice for the first elite. Not a problem. But we have so many upgrades on this line. Body Slam is obviously entirely necessary that you get an upgrade. We could find defense in the next area and hit an upgrade on that. You know, Entrench requires an upgrade with this, but also just any of your normal block cards get a +3, which is not only a +3 to your own defense, but if you're using Body Slam constantly, +3 to your damage as well. I'm into it.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Can't get both.
Oh man, we can't afford the Feel No Pain Reckless. That's too bad too. We can't afford Sling of Courage. So good. Man, where was the money option?
Really, really unfortunate not to have it.
I know. Yeah.
I'm gonna make the decision for us and just click that and walk away.
I'm cool. The one thing that I was looking at real hard and wasn't sure about, I would lose the max HP here, I think. Just because we're going into an Empowered Elite and we didn't take an attack potion and we haven't really found an attack yet.
Yep.
That's my great fear. That was the big thing that was holding me back, I guess, there, was do we have to buy an attack potion here to be confident in the fight against the elite? But actually, I think you make a good choice, because not only is Feel No Pain a potential strong scaling mechanism in the future, but it's kind of a one-card solution to Tri-Sentries, and that's something we need to solve. Are we set up to just totally die to Gremlin Mob right here?
Maybe.
Preparation.
Maybe. Although we do have a Blessing of the Forge, so we can upgrade
really
the
good.
Body Slam, and we can use the Blessing of the Forge to upgrade either the True Grit or the Bash, whichever's required. I think we can push through the Gremlin Knob without dying, but it's gonna be close.
So scary. So what is the card that needs to be upgraded? If we upgrade Bash, awkwardly, we wake up Lagavulin, but this card almost assuredly must be upgraded for other fights. But maybe if we get Gremlin Knob, we're okay to just use the Blessing of the Forge on the Bash hand.
Yeah.
The only concern is we might want to just maximize the number of attacks in hand that we get upgraded. Like we want to upgrade the 4-strike hand or something. Yeah. I don't know what the upgrade is. The upgrade ever to our health? Do we ever take the cheeky rest?
Ooh.
Is that like a thing that we do before this fight?
With a Body Slam and a True Grit in the deck, that feels so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's think about our individual fights, right? So the Gremlin Knob, I think that the plan of having it on the Body Slam and upgrading the Bash in the fight with the potion is enough to justify going for another upgrade here instead, especially because in that we're not having a trash deck, so the Body Slam's cost actually matters. Whereas in the Sentinel fight, the Body Slam's cost doesn't matter, but also upgrading the Bash doesn't matter. Because in the second cycle, the Body Slam is one of the 3 energy that you get to play the 2 energy worth of cards in your hand.
Yeah. Feel No Pain means that Tri-Sentries is actually our best fight. I think we can exclude it from our consideration of upgrade here and just ask which single card is most critical to have upgraded to push enough damage to do whatever 140 to max health Lagavulin or something crazy, and 100 to max HP Gremlin Knob. Those are our doomsday scenarios, I think, and we need to like lie, cheat, and steal to be able to do that much damage. So
I'm leaning towards the Body Slam upgrade.
Okay.
But
just
I could
so that
rest.
I think Body Slam favors the Lagavulin fight in that it's already upgraded for us to get a little bit of damage in and then to focus on getting our most dense attack card hand upgraded. I think we can live it. I think we can live this. I'm super scared of this fight though. We didn't find any attacks. Or at least we didn't take them if we did. Yeah.
It's okay.
Technically an attack.
There we go. We're fine.
Just never roll wrong.
Do I still just burn a defend? Because these are 24 incoming damage on their turn, so even a handful of defends is not enough with a Feel No Pain. Do I still
From this
leave
point
defense?
forward, well, actually, wait. How many days do they make? Are we at 2 now?
Two still.
So it won't be as dense as I'm used to. At Ascension 18 and higher, it's 3 days per, and so your second draw through is just days.
Oof,
I mean, yeah, you can just True Grit to defend, and then we're gonna Blessing of the Forge next turn and do as much damage as we can, right?
Yeah, this next hand is gonna suck though.
That's okay.
Yeah, there we go. 27
we just do
damage.
as much as we can. Yeah, we do 27 and we take our 24 and hopefully like 40 is the most that we take. We're hoping for 40. Oh, and the runic cube is Value Town here too.
Totally forgot about the value of the draw there right there.
Defend, strike, Body Slam is a kill, right?
Yeah, it is. I was just wondering whether or not I split the damage off to someone else for any reason, but no, we don't have like a smaller hit than a 6.
Yeah. I think from here, like, as long as we're down to the 2, we've won. That was a really good roll. I would almost like to sit down and simulate what the other fights would have looked like. I genuinely wonder how many times out of 10 we just die.
I still don't think that the Lagavulin by itself would have been death.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Lagavulin by itself. I mean the Gremlin Knob.
The Gremlin Knob, yeah. The Lagavulin, it feels like we can make it because we had enough health to get through 2 cycles of attacks, and at this stage it's only debuffing by 1 and 1 dexterity and strength instead of 2 and 2. The Gremlin, so spooky. You're full in. You're just...
Look,
I love it.
But was it wrong though?
We don't have any more fights and we're going into Guardian, you can probably do this. You can probably get away with this. I would
'Cause-
upgrade Bash now though.
Like at this point, I'm thinking like our boss plan is to feel no place in play. We true grit every card out of the deck and just body slam while we're doing it.
Wait, do we upgrade Bash? Actually.
Do we?
Or do you how hard can we lean in? Can we just start upgrading Feel No Pains or like upgrade True Grit here? And is this ever a run where we remove Bash because it's energy efficient compared to blocking and hitting with Body Slam?
Ooh, I could easily see that. One sec. 1, 2. So I think we've actually only had 2 normal fights so far, so I think we've still gotten easy, right? Because this was what? It was fight, and then one of them had to be the Golden Idol.
Yeah.
And then one of them was a chest with the ceramic fish in, because we haven't got to the chest yet. So yeah.
Yeah.
2
yeah,
normal
we've only done
combats.
2 drafts. Yeah.
Which means that we only have like 1 guaranteed upper tier combat this entire floor before the Guardian. I'm happy to go for the Feel No Pains.
Sure, let's do it. Let's get him online. And then look for any way to continue to synergize around this. Hey, Lizard Tail is synergizing with winning runs. I like that synergy.
I was... Lizard Tail brings out a problem that I often have in evaluating things, where I will look at things in the perfect vacuum. An example would be that there's an item in another game that says enemy attacks deal 25% less corruption to you.
Right.
And I look at that and I go, that's worth nothing because I'm going to dodge all the corruption attacks. Right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So I look at Lizard Tail and I'm like, oh, do I want to get the Sapphire Key instead? Because Lizard Tail is nothing, because I'm not going to die.
I'm not going to die. Yeah. The way I look at Lizard Tail is it's an extra 50% max HP against the heart fight. And that's like usually enough to make it one of the best relics in the game. But I definitely have those moments too, to where I'm like, can we snowball harder if we just don't do the thing? Agree.
This is going to be a weird fight.
Yeah. We might actually... So, if we try too hard to lean in... Because right now we have 2 Feel No Pains and 1 actual source of exhaust. Be it known, right?
Thank heck.
Yeah. So, we probably do need to pick up like 1 or 2 really good, efficient damage sources.
Yes.
And it's just a question of what they are.
Could be Pommel Strike.
Could be. Is it ever Clash? Is it ever Clash here actually? We're about to upgrade True Grit. I don't think this Clash is atrocious, Raps.
I don't think it's atrocious. I worry about the impact it has on our deck going forward, because the deck that already has Body Slam wants skills. It wants Shrug It Off, it wants Entrench, it wants powers as well. It wants a lot of things that the Clash won't work with, and it also wants things like the Power Through that trash your deck that will also make the Clash harder to work with. I think Clash would be fine right now, but I think it would be bad. I think next floor, especially with the deck trashing of the elites as well, it will be bad a lot earlier than we expect it to be. And I think combining those 2 things ends up with a card that, you know, power spikes when we don't need it because we already have our solution to the Guardian, and then becomes bad when we need it to not be.
Well, do we? How do we scale more than like 30 damage in a turn? We've got like 1 good turn, and it's the turn we draw some upgraded block cards and Body Slam. Otherwise, we have strikes in the deck, right? And with Feel No Pains, we want sources of exhaust, which in theory makes it easier to line up Clash as like a turn-ending big spike of damage. Look, don't get me wrong. I think that Clash is absolutely not the card that we're super excited to have by the time we're on the heart fight, but it might be exactly the right single attack to go into the deck right now to help us get these kills. If we take Pommel Strike, we upgrade it and we look to like add more Body Slams, and that's the thing we could do. So either of them are justifiable. I just wonder if this is like secretly the card that we need for the next 3/4 of an act that we were looking for, just to not fall too far behind against whoever. It's, you know, where it's really awkward is against Chosen. That's a moment where we're going to be like, wow, the one card that we needed to do a bit more damage. That's the fight where the Clash really falls flat.
But also, like, if we're against the Chosen, we're happy. We've got the Feel No Pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And we have Ornamental Fan. Dude, I think we should take this Clash. I really do.
I've been overriding like a lot of decisions very far in this run so far, so I'm not going to do it with the Pommel Strike, but
Okay.
in a vacuum, that Pommel
Yeah.
Strike is extremely mine.
Yeah, you know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong here. I'm looking at our deck, and it sure can play some basic defense.
Mhm.
It needs to find a way to play an attack that does damage.
There we go.
Yeah.
It works.
And we're lucky because we're pre-Ascension 10. We don't have Ascender's Bane yet. Like, the moment that we have Ascender's Bane, that evaluation flips on its head.
Mhm.
Because we've invested in this one card. And I've taken and I've won with Clash at Ascension 20. But it becomes so much more difficult to get value out of once you have that one guaranteed. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're already incentivized to take like small hits of damage occasionally.
Yeah, Blood for Blood looks really good.
It gives us kind of like the Clash power level. Excuse me. It gives us the Clash power level in the fights that we're... Well, actually, hang on. Here's the way that I want to describe it. If everything goes perfectly for us, Blood for Blood is never necessary, but it's easy to burn out of the deck. If anything goes slightly wrong for us, Blood for Blood is
awesome.
Exactly what we need.
Yeah. It's actually great in this Guardian fight, too, because we're just going to trim our deck down to Blood for Blood and blocks and Body Slam. So that's a huge pickup. And it's a very good upgrade, which I think is relevant. Funny that it's our immediate exhaust target in this fight, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
You love to see it.
I mean, you always really love to be in the position that often each of us are in of, here's the thing that I think about this, right? Like, here's the reason that I took this. I put it forward as an option. And then immediately the game is like, here, let me show you exactly that, like a good example of it so that you feel vindicated.
Yeah. But that's important run creativity, and it's something that I think is really, really hard to learn and to teach, is getting good at broadcasting your common or best case scenario. Yes. Click the Impervious, it's so good.
I want the Impervious a lot. I do want to consider for a moment the Fire Breathing before taking the Impervious instead.
Look, I love Fire Breathing. Do you want to... I was going to suggest Blood for Blood, actually. Blood for Blood upgrade is really strong now because it also reduces base cost.
It's 18, 22, 4 to 3, right?
Yeah, it's the only card in the game that does that, too, as far as I know. There's no other card that I'm aware of that not only upgrades... Do we ever Energy Pot here?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Energy Pot for the extra damage.
I think so.
Love it.
It upgrades damage and energy cost. I don't think there's anything else that does that.
Get him.
Unique. Nice. We're already well on our way in this fight.
We've got this one wrapped up in a bow. I think
I would just play the Impervious. Right?
that's what I'm thinking. I think we can throw it away.
Gives us some free Clash damage too.
I love when I pause for a second and you clearly know what I'm thinking because you're like, yeah, I think we do that.
Yeah. It's a cool line.
All right. Hold. Nice. I don't want to just take the extra damage there.
I think we're on line to perfect. Well, I take it back.
Yeah,
I didn't
fair time to retract that.
Yep.
It's okay. I was just setting myself up for card draw. That was the whole point of that.
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing about where we're going with this deck is that, in theory, I'm surprised you burned it. Honestly.
Really?
We could. Yeah, you just burn every strike in this deck, and your hands are only blocks, Body Slam, and Blood for Blood and Clash, and that's like pretty solid.
That's what I'm thinking though. When all of those are there, then the Clash is unplayable.
I guess if you draw 4 defends or like 3 defends and do you play the True Grit? Yeah. I think the energy curve barely works out since you don't have any card draw. It's not going to matter either way anyway.
Yeah.
That's certain.
We will be totally fine here.
Yes.
Just going to over-defend ridiculously on that turn because Feel No Pain activated twice rather than once I was expecting.
Yeah, might as well. But what I was going to say was, with a deck like this, is it... Huh.
Just going to play safe.
What I was wondering. blow up the bash, I think, because we can push out enough damage with the deck all lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get hit one more time, our blood for blood is free.
Bingo.
Man, the ornamental fan is something too that we can play around. I'm having a lot of fun looking forward to where we can go with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
I still want disarm. That was the thing I was gonna say, is that you would think with the deck that's lined up to do big block body slam stuff, you just want to block, but we still want disarm.
Easy.
GG.
GG. Ooh.
Oh man, it's gotta be brutality, right? Or
That's
do we have
2
to
extra
take Immolate?
cards every turn.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm looking at, though. Do we have to take the Immolate? Immolate is so much AoE damage for the next floor, and we are lacking hard in AoE.
Gosh, it feels so greedy, but the brutality is genuinely so incredible in this run. Like, you upgrade that, and that's Snecko Eye worth of card draw for the rest of the run.
Actually, speaking
That's
of Snecko, why don't we think about the Lizard Tail, the Snecko's Tail,
Yeah,
as extending our life, so we can take a risk right now, and we can live long enough to find a way to save ourselves from the mistake we put ourselves in.
Yeah. Is it like, are we able to take elites at all if we don't take Immolate?
Not until we find a powerful card.
Yeah. Maybe that forces the hand. Dang. It's so tricky, right? It's like brutality is clearly incredible synergy with, it's just so much optionality for the rest of the run. It's optionality right now for not that great of cards. We don't really have good front load at all. And Act 2 is such a front load demand, especially in the elite fights. And here is the card that does it, right? Yeah. I think if I sat down with myself and had a talk, said, listen, Teak, when you grow up, you're going to have to make some hard decisions. And every once in a while, you're going to have to take Immolate over brutality with Runic Cube. And I think that's where I land.
That's some very specific advice right there, but I'm glad that I'm glad that that's a common refrain that you have to tell yourself, because it's very applicable to this situation.
It is. It is surprisingly specific, isn't it? Yeah. Well, what can I say? Older, wiser me is fairly wise.
I am so mad that we have to do this.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Ooh,
Snecko!
How
Can we
mad
take
am I
it?
now, though?
I'm not. I'm so glad right now. And Runic Cube is more card draw. Oh, I'm all in on this Snecko Eye, I think.
So I
know,
like
we have a body
Snecko.
slam, man,
That's what I'm thinking about. In
know.
particular, the body
I
slam,
know.
because I'm like, this deck at its highest aspiration blows up enemies with body slam. But if body slam costs, three. It can't cost 4. It's not a volatile gauge. It's a Snecko Eye. If it costs 3,
it's true. But consider this. Consider this. With our newfound power of Immolate, which we have so gracefully taken, we can take so many elites that will see so many rare cards that will find corruption. And at that point, 3-cost body slam is totally acceptable.
And also, like, another one would be, especially because we already have the Impervious and the Feel No Pains are over-blocking us a lot of the time, Barricade. Barricade is a lot more playable when it has a randomized cost.
Both of the big, all 3 of the big 3-cost powers, Barricade, Demon Form, and Corruption, get so much better with Snecko. And we didn't roll into energy. Yeah, I think we have to take it. That came out of left field, though. We truly have not been building the deck towards that. And if we had taken the brutality, I don't know that it's like, I don't know that it is Snecko at that point. That might have been the camel that broke the straw's back.
Specifically, the extra
very small camel.
The extra 2 draw, as well as the costs card, the card that's costed well enough to benefit from it a majority of the time, because expected energy value 1.5.
Something like that.
The Immolate becomes very, very instrumental to choosing the Snecko Eye in particular there, exactly as you were pointing out. But in particular, I'm thinking about the fact of wanting to front load damage and the extra likelihood of getting Immolate in the first 2 hands when you're drawing 4 extra cards in the first 2 hands.
Yeah, it's true. Oh man, what a twist. I feel like this is not even just a playthrough of a roguelite anymore. This is an RPG. And this was the unexpected top 10 Snecko Eye betrayal.
Wait, are we going to be betrayed by the Snecko Eye this time?
Well, it's more that our expected plot line was betrayed by the power level of Snecko.
Right. So Snecko in that circumstance is like the interesting side character that pops up occasionally in episodes, and it's like, oh, Snecko's in this episode. I love Snecko.
I didn't see Snecko coming. Yeah, exactly.
It's wait, is the "It was me, Dio"? Is that a reference
Yes.
that's applicable here?
It was me, Snecko. That's right. That's
Well,
right.
We are going to see how Snecko pilots in the next floor in the next video, linked in the description down below. Hope to see you there.